Hi guys and dolls, how are you? I hope you are well. So, if you are with a person who is very controlling and micromanaging, they start off with super subtle little passive aggressive things that on the surface look harmless. But in retrospect, they're far from it. So that's the reason why I want you to start writing down when you're in a relationship with someone, supposedly a relationship, and you're noticing some really odd things that just don't add up. I want you to make sure that you write those down, and I want you to make sure that you bring those up with a friend of yours, your closest best friend, because you may not be sure. Bear with me. Where did my, okay, sorry, gotta leave you. Okay, I'm back. I want you to notice these little subtle things, and I want you to write them down. And I want you to, bring them up with a friend of yours who's kind of smart and who can read people to see if those things are abusive or passive aggressive, which is abusive. I want you to write it down. Please write it down and bring it up with someone that you trust. Someone who's going to be honest with you and tell you, nah, that's bizarre. Okay? For example, I have to give examples because it's hard to just throw that out there with nothing to compare it to. So I was in a manipulationship, as you guys know, and there were tiny little subtle things that the individual would do that was very controlling, abusive, and uncalled for. So people who are mentally ill / narcissistic / whatever it is that's wrong with them, this person is a malignant narcissist, which is basically a narcissist on steroids. Okay, their behavior is like way over the top, and there's different degrees of narcissism, as you guys know. But so this individual, a lot of them worship their money. A lot of them worship their money. Okay. In fact, I've got a subscriber who he mentioned that in a video. I think it was today, but I'm not sure. I saw it today. They worship their money. So one of the things that the manipulator would do, that I used to be involved with, manipulationship with, I noticed that there were times that when I would hang with him on the weekend, I noticed that there were times that if I had a snack, I was hungry, we hadn't eaten in a long time or whatever. So I would have a snack before dinner because sometimes you're hungry and you're going to eat in an hour or two, but you may be hungry now. So you just grab a little something. There were times that that individual would deliberately not prepare dinner because I was at his house. He would not prepare dinner. And his excuse was, well, you had a snack earlier. What does that have to do with the price of tea in China? What does that have to do with anything? That was so that he could save on his groceries because his money is the most important thing in the world to him. I mentioned that for a reason, and we'll get to that in a minute. So there were a few times he pulled that shit. And I got to the point where I would get, um, food for sandwich. I'd get bread, I'd buy groceries, and I would bring them to his house to make sure that I wasn't hungry, and make a sandwich. If he decided to pull that stunt, I would make sure that I had at least a sandwich. When in reality, I should have I should have taken note of that, and I should have gotten rid of him then. And I'm going to tell you why. On the surface level, it probably feels like it's not a big deal. It's a big deal because there's no one who came to my house who was spending extended periods of time at my house and I did not feed them, or I had an excuse why they couldn't eat. Well, you had a bag of M&Ms, so we were going to do a barbecue. We're not doing it now because you had a snack. I would never do that to someone. That is twisted and abusive. So that's grounds for firing someone, because getting rid of them, because, and I eventually did, but not soon enough, but I still did. So I got to give myself props for getting rid of his ass. But a person who cares about you, they're going to make sure that you eat something. They're going to make sure that you feel okay mentally, physically. Are you thirsty? Are you hungry? Can I get you something? We're going to throw something on the grill. Is that okay? Or they're going to make sure that you are fed, that you are hydrated. They're going to take really good care of you. You are their guest. You are not in the torture chamber where this individual is going to decide if you eat or not. This is a character flaw. This isn't an oversight. This is a character flaw. This is a sign of something wrong with the person. Because, like I said, anyone who is in my home is taken care of. Would you like something to drink? I've got this, this, or this, or this, or whatever. Would you like any of those, or what would you like? This person's a guest in your home. How dare you? How dare you decide that they don't need to have dinner because they had a fucking snack? Are you on crack? You must be smoking something. No, it's called mental illness. And so I'm not going to, so-called person / evil demon, I'm not going to make sure you eat. I'm not going to make sure you drink. I mean, that's on you. So like I said, I did buy groceries, and he would cook stuff on the grill that I bought because he didn't have to spend his precious money. But at least I knew I was going to eat something. I'm a fixer. I'm the oldest of 3. When you are a problem fixer, problem solver, a narcissist is going to hone in on you because you're going to have solutions, but they're still going to rip the carpet from under your feet. Oh, you fixed that? Well, let me give you grief with this. You fixed that? Well, let me give you grief with that. So you are a challenge to them when you're a fixer. You're a challenge to them because they are going to approach you differently and way in the left field or way in the right field because you got all this other fixed and under control, these little demonic things that I'm doing. So let me try this little stunt over here. They're also going to critique you for everything that you do, everything that you say, the way you breathe. You breathe in, you breathe out. You breathe in, you breathe out. My God, really? Everything that you do is going to become a problem. Everything that you say or don't say is going to become a problem. Whereas in the beginning, you were put on a pedestal practically. There were no complaints about anything that you did. You were amazing. Until they decided that you weren't. And when you resist their little tactics, and you have a beef with it, and you express that you have a beef with it, they're going to start to put you slowly but surely start putting you in the devalue phase because you're not obeying the rules. You're not making me feel like king or queen of the castle anymore. That new car smell that I had when I first met you, that you had, I don't smell the new car smell anymore. So you're out. And I'm going to gradually just become a bigger and bigger and bigger nightmare to you. Then the person can resort to critiquing your performance in bed. Now, because that is so personal, that is an extra slap in the face, because especially as a woman, a lot of guys are like, I just want to get in the tunnel. I got tunnel vision. I want to be in the tunnel. Okay. Men's biggest complaint that I've heard is she lays there like a 2x4. She won't move, you know, or she doesn't have any response to anything. It's kind of like going to the library used to be quiet. It's not quiet anymore. People answer the phone. They're loud. They don't give a damn anymore. But it used to be how quiet libraries are. If a woman is that quiet, a guy has a problem with that too. Like, are you still alive? What's going on? It's so personal. And there is absolutely no reason for it. I'm going to manipulate you sexually. I'm going to critique your performance. And it's just bizarre how many things that person could find a problem with when they didn't have those problems in the beginning. So, and the lack of protection in addition to that. Now, let me say this too. When you are in a new relationship with somebody and you're being intimate with this person, you've only known them for a short while, and I don't mean a day like how a lot of people do nowadays. You're actually in a relationship with them for months. You should not be, your relationship is still brand new. There should be no complaining about intimacy at all. There should be none. You can't keep your hands off of each other. You're pretty hungry for each other. It's a mutual thing unless that person reveals that they're a snake, and then you're going to start losing your desire for them, hopefully, because, that's not hot. So if somebody has an issue that early in your manipulationship, like in my case, it was a manipulationship, if they have a critique with that already, that's a red flag. That's a red flag. Okay? Nobody has that beef with that early. They don't. I'm sorry, they just don't. They don't. Not that early. Nope. Unless it's a matter of the person wants to be intimate, you don't want to, or vice versa. That may be an issue. But so far as your performance, no, I'm sorry. That's not normal to have that. No, that person's trying to control you in the bedroom also. That's the real reason they're bitching. They're trying to control you in the bedroom. I'm going to control what you eat and don't eat. I'm going to critique you in the bedroom. I am going to have problems with everything you do. Everything you do is going to be an issue. Because you're in the devalue phase. Because the new car smell wore off after a few months. I don't know why I'm so thirsty, but I am. But, I'm at the point now where I would get rid of a person before I even go out with you. I'll get rid of you. Because your vibe is wrong. The things that you say are hateful. I'm never getting married again. Well, and I definitely don't want to date someone who's bitter and angry. That doesn't make me wet. That doesn't turn me on. Sorry, it doesn't. That's a sex drive killer. A nasty attitude is a sex drive killer. You know what I'm saying? So, Wow, like totally wow. I have to fan myself and try to make it so that you can't see my fan because that's distracting. But there's so many little things that individuals do. I'm so toasty. There's so many things that they do that are fireable offenses, meaning you need to be ditched like now because you're not protecting me. You're not feeding me unless you decide I should eat something, which is why I bought my own food. That was me being a fixer. You want to play games with food, I'm going to buy my own food, which is what he wanted anyway, so he could save his precious woman, which is money. The magical thinking that I told you about, that should be a fireable offense too. I don't know any mature adult, the key word being mature and adult, who's obsessed with a fictional character. And this individual was fixated with Robin Hood, who's not even a real character. And people who have studied this whole whatever Robin Hood thing, if they said that if there was a real Robin Hood, he actually stole from the church. So chances are this person's not even real. But this individual who has magical thinking and delusional thinking because of brain damage, which is in my previous video prior to this one, that's a sign that somebody is not starting. The person is not dealing with a full deck of cards because no adult is fixated on a fictional character. They're just not. So there's so many little teeny pinpoint things that were ditchable offenses, meaning I could ditch you right now for this because your elevator doesn't budge, much less go to the top floor. No adult is like, hey, you want to watch Robin Hood? It's bizarre. The obsession with the mafia and how he claims he was so involved in it. And here's another red flag. When you go to this person's house and you're their beard because they're gay, they say they're bisexual. Well, he's actually trisexual. He'll try anyone and anything as long as it guarantees him pleasure. So it doesn't matter the gender. But he's trying to perpetrate to his parents that he was straight, which Mel and Don from Lake of the Ozarks. Yeah, your son's a quack and a whack, and he is not straight, okay? Last name starts with an H and ends with son, S-O-N. Anyway, moving right along. So if anybody knows them, let those people know that their son is not straight at all, okay? Do a sneak attack. Go to his house when he doesn't know you're showing up and have him open the closet upstairs, the little secret closet that he keeps locked, and have him show you all the naked people on his computer upstairs too. Don't let him know you're coming. Just do a little sneak attack and don't forget to look in the kitchen in one of the cabinets where there's a coffee mug that's really wide and it's got a penis on it. And that's where you put your mouth so you can drink the coffee or whatever it is that you're drinking. Yeah, no straight guy does that. Anyway, moving right along. Mel and Don, y'all need to pay attention. If anybody knows Mel and Don, y'all need to tell them. But the little sumbitch pretended that he, perpetrated to them that he was straight. Now, here's another red flag, okay? When they tell you a bunch of shit, and then they turn around and tell you, don't say anything in front of my parents. Don't say anything. Just, don't mention that. There were multiple things that he said that he never wanted me to mention to them. He supposedly had a kid from someone else. He never did. He's lying. He banged up this, this girl, knocked her up. She was 13. She was with the mafia and all this other shit. If he had knocked up a 13-year-old, he would be dead right now. I don't care if he thinks that they're besties or what. His legs would have been broken and shoved up his ass. Okay. So anyway, don't say anything about that to my parents. Don't say anything about the mafia. Don't say anything about the mafia infiltrated my brain when I was 13. That's why I don't have emotions. No, motherfucker, you don't have emotions because you're a god dang narcissist and you have severe brain damage. That's the real reason. Don't fucking play with me. Do not play with me. Everything he ever said, don't tell my parents, don't tell my parents, don't tell my parents. You know why? Because the son bitch knows he's lying. And he knows that if they knew the garbage that he fed me, that they would put him in a fucking loony bin, which is where he belongs anyway. So that's a red flag too. When somebody's going to take you to their family and don't say this and don't say that and don't say this and don't say that. Right, because they know that they're lying and that their parents would look at them and go, "You said what? What? What did you tell her? You told her that you were in the mafia? Affiliated with them when you were 13? His parents would put him in a padded cell somewhere, which is where he needs to be, truly. I also suggest that if you ever meet this person's parents, that if they supposedly graduated from college, ask the parents, were you there for his or her graduation, the college graduation? If the parents look at you and go, this person didn't graduate college. He's been working the same job, or she's been working the same job ever since and ever since. They never went to college. Oh, I thought he told me he had a degree in computer information systems, which may or may not be true. But you would get it validated from the parents. So anything they ever tell you, they don't want you to mention nothing. Zero. There's your red flag. That's a big red flag. Big red flag. So yeah, all of these little things add up to multiple offenses that the person should have been ditched a long time ago. Once this little passive crap started, those are character flaws. Those are a sign of mental illness. Those are the signs that the person doesn't care about you. They just want you to make them feel good. And once that wears off, which it will, you're out of here. They'll detach or cheat on you or whatever else. Also, they're not a person, they're a demon. Also, demon tried really hard to get me to go to naked campsites. It's called clothing. What is it called? Clothing optional. Because he thinks he's got a big package. And he wants men and women both to look at his package in complete awe and amazement. Unless you're John Holmes, no one's going to be in awe or amazement of shit. But let him live that magical thinking also. But so he's going to try to, or this person, male or female, doesn't matter. They're going to try to make you do what they're into. And the more off the wall it is, the more they really want you to do it. I want you to be involved with naked campsites. I want you to be naked at this wine festival. I want, why does that bother you to be naked? And they're going to basically critique you and criticize you because you have a problem with it or you're reluctant to do it. You're not like, oh yay, when can I be nudie? I want to be nudie in front of everybody. Unless you're that enthusiastic, they're going to be critical of it. Well, why don't you want to do it? You should try it. So they're going to push and push and push. I'm trying to mold you and shape you the way I want you to be shaped. I want to mold you. I want you to like what I like. I want you to allow me to bang you naked at the campsites. Get on all fours right in front of the fire, in front of everybody so I could do you. Which he claims he did to his wife, which I wouldn't be surprised because he doesn't have any boundaries or know anything about lovemaking. He just knows about screwing. And that's an intimate thing between a husband and wife that should not be on display unless you all agree for that to be on display, which she didn't agree, but she went along with it because he pushed her into it, which eventually he twisted her brain so hard she eventually killed herself when they got divorced. Moving right along. So They're not respecting boundaries. You got to be naked with me. Come on, come on, come on, let's go, let's go. Be naked. Enjoy it. And I said, so do you see all these little subtle things and not so subtle things that are telling you that this character is not something that you want to sign up for? Uh, Pushing the boundaries. Why don't you want to be naked? What's the problem? Why do you have to be naked? Is a better question. Push, 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 push. He knows where all the naked campsites are. I'm sure he does, because he really thinks he's swinging. He really thinks he's swinging down there. It's just banging his knees as he's walking, which is a fantasy in his head. He is not John Holmes, or even smaller than a little bit smaller than John Holmes. He doesn't have nothing going on that's that spectacular. Okay? My ex-husband had a lot more than him. Did I go there? Yes, I did. So, but he thinks that, they almost bang his ankle, his pecker almost bangs his ankles. There's so many things. I'm going to push the boundaries, and push, 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 push. And if I can't get you to be naked, that's a problem, because I'm trying to make you do things that you don't want to do, because it's all about busting through your boundaries. I want to create you. I want to pulverize your brain and pulverize your self-will. I want to pulverize it. I want to karate chop past your boundaries, because I'm all about control. You need to stop having so much control. No, bitch, I need to get rid of you. A hell of a lot sooner than I did, but I still have to give myself props. I still eventually came to my senses and got rid of him. Human termites just don't turn me on. Anyway, just all these little things that are despicable. And the lying and the lying and the lying and the lying. Don't tell my parents. Don't tell my parents this. Don't tell my parents that. Don't mention this. Don't mention that. Don't mention about the grandkid that, because they didn't know that they lost a grandkid. There wasn't ever a grandkid. He didn't get a girl in a mafia pregnant. He would have, like I said, his legs would have been pulled off and shoved up his ass. And he would have been buried under who only knows how many pounds of concrete, okay? No, 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 no. Don't tell the parents, because then they're going to put me in a wackadoo house. A padded cell. Right, that's where you belong. Don't resist it. Instead of worried about swinging your cock around in public, you need to worry about what's wrong with you mentally. Anyway, move right along. So, all these little things that add up to, whoa, this isn't normal. This isn't good. This is just not good. The lack of protection, like I told you, it was pretty hurtful. It was pretty hurtful to be physically ill in a park. It's extremely hot. I feel queasy. I feel nauseous. My face is probably as white as a sheet. And I'm trying not to puke. And my energy is draining from my body. Let me tell you what happens after heat exhaustion. If you don't believe me, ask someone who is a medical professional, ask your doctor, ask someone who has medical knowledge, and they will tell you that what I'm telling you is the truth. After heat exhaustion, you know what happens after that? Especially if you don't cool your body down quick. What happens next is called heat stroke. You're basically cooking. Your body is cooking from the heat. And it loses the ability to cool off. So you stop sweating. You will be profusely sweating initially. And then your skin's going to get redder and redder. Your body's going to get hotter and hotter. You're not going to be able to sweat anymore. You're going to lose the ability to sweat, which cools your body off. And that is what we call a medical emergency. That is life or death. And at the rate of how fast I was getting sick, heat stroke wasn't too far away, especially if you don't get relief. And for some individual to think that it's perfectly okay to not only get away from me, but to climb up the hill to get away from me, and kept asking me, are you ready yet? Are you ready yet? No, I'm sitting here on the beach getting myself off. So wait till I have an orgasm and then I'll be ready. Motherfucker, I'm not sitting down there having a good time. I'm sick. I don't know what that is. I gotta get. Oh, I know what that is. Mud from my dog's paws, so I have to wash that off. Um, the coldness. There's so many. See, do you see what I'm saying? Like all of these are fireable offenses, meaning all of these by themselves, individually by themselves, are reasons to get rid of this individual. But then compiled together, oh man, oh man, you need to be thrown in a garbage disposal with the switch flipped on. So whatever you do, whatever you do not give someone as many chances as I did. If you're any of those one scenarios, the person's not taking care of you, they're not feeding you, they're not making sure you're hydrated, you're getting sick in the park and they don't give a rat's ass, um, you you have to you write them down. If you have to write them down so that you have clarity, better clarity, because once these filthy moments pass, it's easy to forget them. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Okay? That's the last thing you want to do. So don't be like me. Write everything down if you're not sure. Share with someone who's close to you. And then get rid of them. Because let me tell you what it looks like when a person's healthy. Okay? They're going to make sure, I know I keep repeating myself, but they're going to make sure that you eat. They're going to make sure that you drink. They're going to make sure that you feel okay. If you are having a medical crisis, they are going to be by your side. They're going to be by your freaking side. Okay? And they're going to be looking at you and going, what's wrong? Talk to me. Look at me. What's wrong? Oh, I don't feel good. I feel nauseous. I need you to lay down. What? Tell me what's going on. Like, are you too hot? What's going on? Yeah, I feel too hot and I feel weak. Okay. I want you to get closer to the water's edge and I'm going to wet your shirt or, soak your legs, or I'm going to do something to get coolness to your body right away. That's what the fuck you do. You don't walk away like, you're having a medical issue. Only Satan would do that. Okay. So anyway, when you see signs that someone is a demon, get out of there. Get out of there. Don't hesitate to get away from them. It's only going to get worse. Okay? It's only going to get worse. It's just shocking. It's just really shocking. But then again, like I told you guys before, I saw the lack of concern whenever, what was it? I saw the lack of concern when his church member, I think his name is, I can't remember his name, him and his wife were in a car accident, and stupid ass had no expression on his face whatsoever, because that has nothing to do with him. Sarah, his wife, his ex-wife, she killing herself, that has nothing to do with him. That's her losing her life. He's still strutting around like he's king of the fucking world, still taking mommy and daddy's money. Has to have the best of everything just so he can have bragging rights. I mean, coldness is just the lack of concern, the ease. It's so easy for this individual to put his hand out and take everything. You're at a restaurant with friends. Um, Anybody want the last pizza? Oh, he'll be more than happy to take it. Because he's a parasite. He's a taker. And he'll save on groceries because he had the last piece of pizza and he took it home. He's too comfortable taking other people's money. So yes, this is a habit of his. Okay? This is a habit of his. His parents destroyed him. There is nothing that they could do to fix it. He is mentally damaged. He is psychologically damaged. His brain is damaged. They have kissed his scrawny little ugly ass probably ever since he was born. They have given him everything, and they continue to give him everything. And when they die, he's got his hand out again because he wants everything. And the only way they can fix the damage, the permanent damage that they've done to their own son, the only way they could fix it is to leave him nothing in the will, because, my God, you've been taken ever since your ugly ass was born. You're a fucking taker. So whenever they die, he needs to have access to absolutely nothing. Y'all have been kissing his ugly ass for too long. You've rolled out the red carpet and you've turned him into a psycho. He is a narcissistic individual with schizophrenic tendencies because everyone's after him. He lives on Breezewood Drive, and on his front door, there's iron in the glass because he wants to make, and it's shatterproof glass. So he wants to make sure that nobody can come for him. Well, if you weren't Satan, you wouldn't have to worry about nobody coming for you. Oh, did I go there? Yes, I did. He has a safe downstairs in the basement. He has cemented it or somehow bolted it to the ground because God knows everybody's after his safe in his funky ass house. Ain't nobody thinking about you, bitch. Ain't nobody want nothing from you in that safe. There ain't nothing in there. He's probably going to, when his parents die, he's going to probably put all their stuff in there, their jewelry and whatever else they got, because he's going to have his hand out. The corpse will be laying here, and his hand will be over the corpse with outstretched, what can I get? Okay? Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. But anyway, moving right along, I digress. When you start to see these funky little things happen, you have got to get out of there because it's going to get worse. Okay? The person knows that they're pathologically lying when they're saying, don't tell my parents this, don't tell Susie this, don't tell my brother this, don't tell just because they're lying and they know they're lying. And they're scared to death that you're going to say something in front of their parents that's going to prove that they're Looney Tunes. Well, I already know that. I found that out. Y'all be careful because the amount of sick people in this world is just really exponentially out of control. Exponentially out of control. And getting worse. So those of you who have never, ever, ever, ever had a narcissistic manipulationship, count yourselves lucky. Count yourselves very fortunate. Because they are the devil incarnate. And people end up hurting themselves, committing suicide after dealing with them because of the abuse. And you're never going to amount to anything, and you're a piece of crap. You're lucky I love you. No one else will treat me or treat you as good as I have. Oh, abusing someone is treating them good? Wow, I didn't know that. Interesting. If you've never been involved with a narc, thank God. You need to fall on your knees and thank God. If you're Catholic, you need to do the sign of the cross and thank God. And I am dead serious. Because otherwise you've been involved with the devil, and it's one of the worst things a person can go through. It really is. It really, truly is. So, anyway, I'm going to wash the mud off my sheets here because my son decided that when his feet were dirty, he was going to jump up in the bed, and I'm going to wring his neck. Lovingly, of course. Anyway, you guys take care. Count your blessings. If you've never been involved with Satan, count your blessings. Much love. Take care.